So do you feel, let's start there then. How do you feel about the depth to which, Biden and Trump or just any of the politicians have addressed issues in the black community, like the things that a lot of black folks care about? What do you think they've done a good job of addressing? And what do you think that they've done a terrible job of addressing?
I think, they've, I guess, done a good job at sticking with one or two issues. I guess they think it's police um, brutality. They think it's criminal justice and prison reform. They think that's where they can hang their hat on helping us. Um, and it's disappointing that not enough is being done to help us economically. Um, Trump put out a plan. It is definitely a big number, but until he does, I guess, executive orders and does more to prove that he's going to do any of that, then a lot of people don't believe it. So he has to do more. And Biden, their plan hasn't changed from what we saw. I forgot what he called his plan inside of his.
I think it had like lift every voice.
Yeah, lift every voice plan.
I'm sorry, man, but I feel like that's bullshit. Like just the title alone, maybe I'm just not built that way. Because if you think about it, right? Lift every voice and sing. I don't know, has anybody in the chat, have you ever read the lyrics of that song? It's not a bad song. It's not hating that song, but the song is very, very passive. And it's kind of like, we've gone through these bloody roads that we've traveled and weak and weary, but we know God's going to get us through. And if you listen to the lyrics of the song, never once do they talk about, they talk all day about the pain and suffering and how they survived it. But there's never a conversation about who did it, how they're going to overcome it, or how they might actually retaliate against the person that did it. So when I hear lift every voice and sing, I'm sure you've been invited to speeches where they'll sing that song, right? And I sing along just out of respect. But I think that this whole passive kind of approach might be part of what got us in this situation in the first place. Just kind of go along to get along, and the best thing you can brag about is that you survived. And I don't think that's the energy we need in order to achieve things. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just think, here's called Lift Every Voice to Sing. The Republicans is called the Platinum Plan. It's like both of them really, could have been better names, But, you put that aside, at the end of the day, it's really about what can be done, what can really happen. I think, the whole passive thing goes back, once we were fighting for, our civil rights, as Black people in America, and everybody really kind of joined in and made it a minority thing. We, automatically we're pushed to the back because you add so many more people into the struggle. And at the end of the day, we're still at the back of the line trying to, now instead of fighting 30% white people who really trying to keep us back, now we're at the bottom of 100% pile because there's white people and then there's all the other minorities that you have to fight through to get heard. So that's one thing that really, made our movement not 100% work for us 100% of the time. So, these are things we're going to have to sift through. We're going to have to get people talking about Black America. I love everybody. I'm not trying to hate on nobody or, I know other minorities need help. But at the end of the day, we gotta help ourselves or we can't help anybody. We're not going to survive another 400 years living under these conditions. So we have to do something to help ourselves. So we have to sift through all this and make sure our politicians are speaking directly to us and not just speaking to, it's 70% minorities out here. So that's a lot of people to sift through to get heard. And the most egregious acts have happened to, American descendants of slaves. So, we gotta, really push all our politicians to address us and really deal with us, and not cloak us in the minority blanket. So, it's not easy, going through this, man, and really pulling back the covers and peeling back, the onion and seeing what goes on. Man, there's so many pitfalls and so many things in place to make sure that we're not fully compensated in a lot of areas. So that's disheartening, but it'll take a lot of work, but we can, uncover all that and deal with it. But first, our politicians got to acknowledge it and look to help us get it done. I'm putting a lot of pressure on both parties, and that's what you're supposed to do. A lot of people got their mind made up on who they want to vote for, and that doesn't mean you don't keep putting on pressure. You put pressure on, before the election, after the election, and during the term. You never stop. And we need so many things done, for us to relax or to say, hey, don't push no more. Just get in line, kind of shut up and vote is not the way to get things done. I think we have to really apply pressure, and we have to look for allies, real allies, and support them. And as Black people, if you like a candidate, you're gonna have to send them $5 or $10, man. It's like you're gonna have to help people get not only vote for them, but also help them, get in office. You have to help. So we see all these races going around the country, and it's not just the president. That race is one race, but there's governor races, there's Senate, there's Congress races going on, there's city, state, local, all kind of stuff going on you got to vote on. And if you really want somebody to win, you got to send them 5 or 10, just to make sure, because that's what white people are doing with their candidates. They send money for that so they can win. And if we don't start doing that, our Black candidates are going to serve white people that's sending them money. So we have to play the game on all levels. We ain't gotta, send in everything, but just, you gotta push to make sure the people you want to win. Everybody telling me, Cube, just tell people to vote. No, we gotta be smart. We gotta do what it takes. And I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna just say what I see. I'm not gonna push no company lines or no party lines or nobody's lines. I'm gonna just see what I see, say what I need to say. Some people don't like it, but we gotta keep applying pressure to these politicians, or they're not gonna do what we need done for Black people.